Okay, I think it's finally working. I don't know if StreamYard hates me, my phone hates me, the internet hates me, the fate hates me. Something's hating me. I don't know if StreamYard hates me, my phone hates me, the internet hates me. No, that's part of it too. User error. But I had everything set up, and then all of a sudden, phone goes like it's showing full signal, and then but it says you have no signal. Kicks me off StreamYard, and I trust everything back up. Apparently, I tried switching phones and didn't mute that one back, but I think I've got it lined up now. I don't know how the signal will do because I'm pulling signal off of one phone and sending it to another phone to try to get everything linked up. And anyways, all right. So let's. Looks like Cheryl is here. Welcome, welcome. And Uncle Smiley's here. Welcome in, folks. And there comes Moneyless Maven. So my memory is horrible. CR Fish is Cheryl, and Moneyless Maven, is that Shirley? I think I've got that right. Uncle Smiley says, "Hey Shirley." So, all right. I'm horrible with names and remembering stuff, but welcome in, folks. And Bruiser, welcome in, Bruiser. So, hey, I got it. Yay! I'm. What's the old saying? Even a blind squirrel gets a nut every now and then. I get lucky and remember stuff every now and then. But I was joking with someone that I made a notebook to write down stuff so I wouldn't forget. I've forgotten where I put the notebook, or I forget to look at the notebook. Yeah, I had a little catastrophe in the fish room the past couple of days, and it is horrible being a YouTube creator and knowing that you can't just spill the beans about what happened, that you got to make a video and put it out and all that. So I've made the video, going to work on editing and putting it out. So I want to talk about it, but we'll talk about it after that video comes out, I guess. One thing that I do want to bring up, and we can bring it back up later if more people come in or whatever, but I put out some summer tubs. I put some fish out last week or the week before, and it dropped a little cooler, which those fish can handle the cooler temperature. But I put more out this week, and it's supposed to stay warmer. I've got multiple tubs out. Now, I've had multiple tubs before, but I've never had this issue. How do you remember which fish are in which tub? Do you like put a label of some sort on it? You know, I thought about, in here I could take like an index card and write on the index card and stick that in the corner of the tank, but outside in the rain and weather and stuff, that's not going to work. So I'm not sure what I'm going to do. I thought about different ideas. But I walk out there and I'm like, that tub has some fish in it. They look little and kind of silverish. I don't remember if that's this type or that type, or I don't remember where I put in that tub. Yeah, I have to like dip them out, put them in a special container, stare at them for a minute or two, and try to see the finish. And I'm like, oh yeah, that's this. But I don't want to be guessing at what my fish are. I want to remember, and my memory's not there, so I need something to tell me what that fish is in its tub. So if you all have ideas, let me know. Progenal. That just sounds wrong in my head. Maybe I'm pronouncing that wrong. Progenal Aquarius. Welcome in. Says on the train, coming home from work, so commuting and lurking. I commute and lurk sometimes, but I'm usually driving when I do that. So my lurking's a little less safe than like if I was on a train, I guess. But enjoy. I don't know that I'll get like extremely exciting topics coming up, but welcome in anyways. And then the battery's about to go for you too. That's horrible. I had that trouble yesterday, I guess it was. Tried uploading a video yesterday, and it's been uploading for like 15 hours. It's still trying to upload. So I stopped it and tried to restart it. I don't know what's going on with it. Sierra Fish says, I've been submitting my entries in our local club auction for next Saturday. I guess like an online with like the auction.fish or what is the other one? There's a couple of the clubs and stuff that you submit online for the auctions. They're pretty neat. I've tried to get something like that rolling in the club here, and there's either too much misunderstanding of what it is. My group auctions, that's what it is. Thank you. That's the other one that's real popular. But there's either a misunderstanding of what it is, how it works. There's a lot of misunderstanding or lack of knowledge of technology in our local club. Like I've made some automated, like some online forms to fill out for like your Breeders' Awards program and Horticulture Awards program, even membership forms. And a lot of people can't figure out how to do that they prefer the pen and paper version. And so we still offer that. And that kind of falls over to the auction side that they still want to have the pen and paper forms and all that. And I try to explain to them, we could still take paper copies and type them in just like we're doing now, but we type them into the online thing, and people that type them in ahead of time would save time. But we're not there yet. I've got to keep working on it, I guess. Fish Family came in. Welcome. Cheryl's got to get her back submissions done too. Yeah, I turned in a couple yesterday, and I like participating in the BAP, but honestly, I hate turning stuff in because I get so far ahead of everybody else in the club, and I don't want to be the one that I don't want to be the one that wins and stuff, because as the president of the club, I don't want to be like, oh, the president's winning everything. It's rigged or whatever. But I want to participate in the BAP, but other people in the club aren't turning stuff in as much as I am. And part of that is I'm able to be in every meeting and turn stuff in. Whereas other people, they may work on that Saturday every other month or something like that, so they only get to come to half the meetings or something. But so I try to not turn in everything I breed as fast as I breed it, just because I would outrun everybody way too quickly, and I don't want to. I want other people to win stuff. I want, I'm going to enjoy the club if I win stuff or not, but I know that some people, they want the competition. They want to be able to win prizes and stuff to feel that the club is rewarding to them. So that's the way that I am. I try to make sure that other people get enjoyment out of it also, which hurts me in the auction too, that, there's this fish that I really want. So I'm not going to name names, but I'll tell you the story from last night. It's the person on the other end of this is someone that you all would all know. But there was a person at our auction last night, and he brought his kids, which many people do, and we welcome kids in the club and stuff. And there was some fish at the auction that I have been looking for months. So it was Limia melanogaster. So I kept Limia melanogaster. Years ago, I bred them, turned them in for bat points, and I didn't really know what a Limia was. Well, now that I've learned what Limias are, and I've got on this Limia kick where I'm really into Limias, I have gotten rid of the Limia melanogaster years ago. I'm like, ooh, I want that one back. But I can't find it anywhere. I found one in a pet store, and one's not going to do much to build a colony. But I haven't found them anywhere else. They showed up at last night's club auction. And I'm like, I don't care how much it costs. I'm going home with those fish. Well, I was bidding. And I was bidding. And this other individual who you all would know decides to play dirty. He had his young son raise his hand and bounce up and down in his chair, all excited about the fish. And I couldn't take them from him. I love seeing kids enthusiastic about fish. I love kids being enthusiastic about rarer fish, especially if it's live beer. Nancy B in Tennessee came in and says, "No friends in auctions." Yeah, true. And I've bid against people just for the fun of it and got caught with fish I wasn't intending to get. But I didn't want to take them from the kid. I was getting all the looks from everybody else in the meeting like, "You're really going to steal them from the kid?" Nancy's asking if it was Carl. No, it wasn't Carl. Most of the people would know who Carl is, but this person, everybody would know who he is. I mean, he's somebody that everybody would know. And I let the kid have the fish. I let him win. But I did raise him up to $25 for the fish, so he paid a fair price for them. But I would have went way higher for the fish, just because it was our speaker brought the fish, so it was going to go back to help the speaker, help the club, and give me the fish that I really wanted. But now, I've talked to them. They said they were going to breed them and bring them back in for BAP, so I'm saving my money up for that. Stephen P came in. Welcome in, Stephen. It's great when the kids are genuinely interested. The parents using the kids to get rid of competition is a problem. Yeah, and I say he was playing dirty, but he wasn't really playing dirty. What he had done was, come to find out, he'd given each of his kid a tank and said, "It's your tank. You take care of it. You pick out what you want in it." And they had come to the meeting and saw those fish and said, "Oh, those are cool. I want those." And so his son had picked up those fish and really wanted them. But still, in my mind, I'm going to tell the story that he was playing dirty and using this kid because it's more fun that way. And I gave the parent a hard time about it too, and we both laughed about it. It's all good fun. Cheryl says, "I don't bid on something unless I really want it right at the end of the auction, and no one else bids. I have anything to thank for. I bid on stuff I don't have anything to thanks for. I bid on stuff when I'm in Nashville. I bid on stuff to try to raise Carl up, try to make him pay more money. And I end up with stuff that I'm like, what did I just win? Because Carl brings his hand down to myself. I'm like, oh man. And I bid on something last night. I would dig it out, but I've been using the box it's in as a table for other things. I've got a mess. I've taken power heads apart and stuff right here beside me. But it's like it's like the labels off of the fish tanks from like, I don't know if it's PetSmart or Walmart or whatever, but all the little labels that has the picture of the fish, a little green circle, red circle, yellow circle tells what the fish is and all that. Like, I think I got like 15 binders of those things. Packed, I mean, like you do like baseball cards or whatever, all the little cards and sleeves and indexes of them. And they came up as a lot in an auction. And I was explaining what they were. And I don't do the auctioneer, but I kind of help the guy out. And so he's like, I don't know what these things are. So I explained that they're the little labels that would go on fish tanks in a pet store. And they're there for freshwater, saltwater, reptiles, amphibians, the whole kit and caboodle of them. And I was showing them off. And as I was walking off, I said, to get the bidding started, I will bid $5. Well, guess who came home with them? I've got a box full of those things. I have no idea what I'm doing with them. And I've bid on stuff. I went to the Indianapolis auction once, and I wasn't paying. I was on my phone looking up the last fish that I bought or something like that. Wasn't paying attention. I hear the auctioneer say, "Really? Will nobody give me $1 for this bag of fish?" Didn't know what even it was. I'm like, I will. And as soon as I raised my hand, he goes, "Sold." And I was like, oh, what did I just buy? And they bring it to me, and it's a bag of convicts. So, I've done that multiple times. I've come home with fish that I was like, I bought fish I didn't know what it was at the time. And I've come home with fish that I knew that what it was when I bid on it and bought it. And then the label wore off between me getting it, putting it in my insulated tote and getting home. And I get home and it's just little silver fish. And I don't know what it is. Don't remember what I bought. In the Flesh Aquatics. Welcome in. That's a neat name. I like that. I don't know that I've heard that one. Maybe I have. And, we was talking earlier that my memory is horrible. Can't never remember people's names. Can't remember where I put my notebook that I wrote down the stuff to remind me. Just got back from Walmart a few minutes ago to get groceries and stuff. And get here, and I'm like, I forgot the zucchini that I was getting for the plecos. And that was one of the main reasons that I was going. Cheryl says, I'm in trouble next weekend. There's a Hoplosoma luxosoma, whatever that is. Hoplosoma, I'm guessing it's like a quarry type catfish. And a CW 217. That would also be a quarry type catfish. Oh, you're looking through the auction listings of what's there. I like doing that, but I see benefits to it, and I see negatives to it also. I like there being mystery in the auction of, if I look through like the online auctions like that, like my group auction, and there's not any fish listed that I really like, it's my thing that week or whatever, I'm not going to be as excited to go to the auction. I'm not going to I don't have to go. But if I don't know what's going to be in the auction, I have that hope that there's going to be that new rare Limia or wild swordtail type that I don't have that I've been looking for that will be in the auction. So I see both benefits to it and the negative side to it too. Elite Menagerie Habitats. If I haven't said welcome in. It says, convicts. The guppies of the cichlid world. Can't give those things away. Well, you can say that. I find markets for them here and there. I sold, I think it was at the Nashville swap that I sold 3 bags of them and 2 bags of them at the Knoxville swap. Or maybe it was reversed. But I sold them at both swaps. The Kentucky swap, I didn't have any luck in selling them there. And honestly, I think convicts, as if breeding is a bad thing. I think the convicts are worse than guppies because I have seen convicts crossbreed with more species outside of their own genus, species outside of their own continent, and have that viable fry. And guppies, you don't have that. But I love watching the parenting and the interactions and stuff that the convicts have. Talking about the 217s, I'll have to look those up. I'm kind of getting into Corys a little bit more. We have this program that we run in our club that, breaking it down real simple of the way it works, is we have this pool of money that we put towards buying fish. We buy the fish, we bring it in, auction it off. That money goes back towards buying more fish, and then, But I go out and I get fish, and we want to get stuff that's not your typical like PetSmart fish. So not your fancy guppies and your albino Aeneas Corys, just regular stuff that you can go to PetSmart and get. We want something different to bring to the club. And apparently I'm a horrible guess at what people like and what to get. I got a variety of cichlids and this time I got a variety of cichlids and some native stuff and some little berries. And I thought I got some Geophagus and some Sabrums, and I thought those would be really popular. That they got some bright colors, they're peaceful. I thought they would be popular and would go really good. No, it was like mercy bids on them. And the little pygmy Corys. I mean, I was like, they're just tiny little Cory catfish. Nobody's going to want those. They're going to be like the least popular thing because they're still young. They brought the highest dollar of anything out there. We had, I had some more rare pistos, and the little Cory catfish brought more than the pistos. And it totally surprised me. I'm not a good one to pick for this thing, I guess. In the Flesh Aquatics says, I am new to the aquatic YouTube world. My name is, I may mispronounce this, but I'm guessing Javon. I'm horrible with spelling names and pronouncing names and remembering names. Cheryl says, I don't have convicts, but I have their cousins, the topaz cichlids. Yeah, that's one of the genus, one of the Amatonia genus species that I haven't kept, but they are they're very pretty. And that Cheryl answered that if they look much prettier than convicts. Yep. Elite Menagerie says, congrats, they're not a bad fish, just prolific breeders, super territorial, and yes, they would try to breed with anything. Yes, if you're talking about convicts, they do. I know, I tell this story over and over, so I've probably already mentioned it in this stream, about somebody that contacted me and was asking about if this would work or not because they had done it and didn't know if it was going to pan out. But they had bred convicts with jewel cichlids, and they ended up raising the fry up, and it took. And I'm like, no way, that's an African cichlid and a American cichlid. They're not supposed to be able to breed together, but I guess a convict will breed with anything with fins. Cheryl says, I need 16 more species of Corys to make my goal this year. Cheryl, I thought you were doing beta, like wild betas. Doing Corys too. The 217 are a new con color, but half orange, half slate gray. Gorgeous, larger type Cory. Yeah, I don't know why I haven't really been into Corys. Years ago I was into Corys, and I guess I just kind of fell out of it because I'm the type of guy, everybody's liking them. I don't like them, so that may have been what it was. But I picked up some pygmy Corys back there, and they're fun to watch. And then I've got some Simulus Corys in this tank. And the only reason I still have those Simulus Corys in that tank is because I can't catch them. But now that they're there, they're kind of cool. And I've got some albino Aeneas in this tank. And I didn't like them at first, but the more streams that I do, and I sit here beside them, and I see them swimming by, and I'm like, oh, it's pretty cool. So they're growing on me, I guess. Link agrees that the topaz are prettier, like the gold. I like the gold blue-eyed convicts too. Oh, like the Nanoluteus? Yeah, I like those too. And I don't like that they've given that genus the name the convict type. So it's the yellow convict, the red point convict is what some people call the 100 red points. And we shouldn't call it the convict type because that gives the whole group kind of a bad stigma that people's like a lot of people don't like the convicts, and you call that whole group of fish the convict type. They think of the most negative parts of the convicts that they don't like. Cheryl says everybody loves pygmy Corys, creating nano tanks. Yeah, mine hide a lot, and I think it's the way that I have my tank set up. Roxanne over at Foxy's Fishes was giving me tips on how to do better with it. That they're probably breeding and laying eggs, and everything else in my tank's eating them. But I still haven't fixed it. I'm a procrastinator. Okay, so Cheryl says I'm doing both Corys and wild type betas. Up to 34 species of Corys and 4 species of wild type betas. Okay, well, I've got 2 species of wild type betas, and they're pretty neat. And I'm on the fence of getting another wild type beta. I was talking to somebody last weekend, I think it was, that has. Oh, this is going to come out all wrong. My memory, I can't remember. It starts with a P. Is it Pingu? It's a beta that starts with a P. But he had those types and was talking about us maybe getting together on something with those. And I'm kind of thinking about it. Elite says Corys are cute, little wiggle butts, but yeah, for some it's not their thing. What are your favorite types of fish? Well, mine, it changes day by day, really. But overall, I'm really into live bears, specifically the rare wild type live bears. Some of the smaller cichlids, like the on big types. I've been wanting to do fire mouse again for a long time. I just got some of those. Haven't done cribs in a couple years, and I just picked up some more cribs. That size cichlid, I'm really into. And then I've been going on the pleco train some, but I keep getting derailed on that. But I've got barbs and tetras and rice fish, and I've got about everything in here. And for a moment or two, it may be my favorite thing. Cheryl says, at least until the bash, already bringing in at least 1 new species of betas home. Are you entering any betas into the competition, Cheryl? The show? If you're not, you probably should. I'm looking for tons of people to enter in betas into the beta show just to bring attention to the betas, because a lot of people that will be going to the convention, at least the local people, because I know a lot of local people will be going to the convention because it's here and it's the first time we've ever had anything like this. But they all think that there's only one type of beta, and it's the one with the flowy fins that you find in the cups at PetSmart. And I would love for people to put tons and tons of betas in that beta show to show people that there are, with that hybridized beta splendid, not just the long fins, but there's crown tails and the placots and the different shapes, and there's the wild types and the variety of mouth brooders, and just introduce them to a whole wide world of betas. Oh, good. I said your name right. I won't remember it. I apologize for that. I'll remember that it starts with a J, probably. But I remember letters, but not names. Elite's talking to Cheryl and says it's addictive and can be a collector. That's my problem. I wasn't supposed to have as many tanks in this building. I was supposed to have that many tanks when I moved to this property. But I just keep getting more and more and more. I want all of them. I want all the fish. And it is an addiction. I've been on the bad side of this addiction years ago, and it about cost me everything. But I've got it under control. Yeah, I got it under control. I keep buying stuff, but I'm doing it responsibly this time. Make sure my bills are paid first. Well, there's Mel. Welcome in. And I'm assuming that you're going to be at the Bluegrass Bash, Mel. It's just down the street from you, kind of. I'm looking forward to it. I'm not looking forward to doing the work of setting it up and stuff like that. And I don't want it to be over with, but I want it to get here, if that makes sense. I want to hang out with all of y'all. Love to Trip One. I haven't heard that name before, I don't think, but welcome. Scroll on down. Going places with fish. Yeah, I do a little this, a little that. Mel asks if I keep pandagars. Not yet. I keep looking at them. Every time I go in a store that I see one, I see the pandagars. I'm like, those are cool. I want to get some. And I look at another fish and I completely forget the pandagars. Or I see them and I want to get them, and I'm doing other things and I can't get them at that time. Cheryl's taking a bunch of peppermint plecos to Kentucky. Which ones are the peppermint plecos that you're talking about? Are you taking them to Kentucky? They're sold, already going somewhere. I had a group of a species of pleco that goes by the name peppermint pleco, and I had that tank crash. I haven't had pleco luck in the past couple of weeks. I lost my peppermint plecos, lost my snowball plecos. I did find my 199 plecos. They've been hiding this whole time. Shirley says, so you want wild betas in it? In the beta show, I want every type of beta that there can be in it, because I know that the cichlids, we're holding it to 50 because people know cichlids and they always bring a ton of cichlids and they don't want to be overwhelmed with the number of cichlids that show up. Live bears, there will be a lot of live bears there. There will be some betas there, but I want the betas to really make the show. And I don't know if it's like people are seeing the IBC as like as the saying goes, a stepchild or something like that, because it's American Live Bear Association, American Cichlid Association, and the names kind of sound the same and familiar. And not a lot of people have heard of the IBC, the International Beta Congress. So I hear people saying, "Oh, it's some beta people," but I want them to see that beta people are the thing. There's more than just the one type of beta that we all think about out there, and the beta people can really show their fish. In the hotel room, maybe. I don't know what you're meaning there. Maybe I asked about selling fish or something like that. Let's see. Going on down. Elite says, I collected 8 or 9 types of wild betas here in the shop. It amazes me how many people don't know that the wild types, orbicots, aliens. Yeah. A lot of people just think the standard, I forget what it's even called, the big bell-tailed ones, that's what it is. But there's so many different varieties of betas out there, and the wild types. I told somebody this weekend that you can keep more than one wild type beta in the same tank, and they don't kill each other. They get along, and they just could not believe it. Shirley says, where do we find the info about the show? So if you go to the website, aca-convention.org, there's a spot on there, like if you go like in the shop menu and you go down like you're going to, I think it says like beta show or IBC show or something like that, entries, and you can click on that like you're going to buy a spot for a fish show entry. And when you scroll down towards the bottom, it'll say class 1 is, I don't know, male veil tails or whatever, and class 2 is male placots or whatever, and they got the different classes that you can enter them in. And it's not much to enter a fish in. I don't remember if it's $3 or $10 or something. It's not much. I remember the live bears was like $3 to enter in, and I don't have the betas memorized. But yeah, you get on there and you look at that, and I think they've even got sponsorships available still that not all the beta classes are sponsored. And I think that's because people are like, oh, it's just a few beta people coming, and so they aren't thinking that stuff will actually show up for the show. Cheryl says, I don't have any fully colored up betas that I've bred yet. I wouldn't feel comfortable taking my adult breeders. Oh, okay, I understand. Mel says, I'd love me a wild type beta one day, preferably snakehead adjacent. I did love this pair of Adia. That may be not even close to how that's pronounced. If I remember right, is how you spell it. Hey, I can't spell, so I definitely can't read. That I saw at the LFS a while back. They sat there forever. And that's something about where you are, Mel, is just like some of the pet stores up there, some of the fish stores will get some nice fish that you wouldn't see in other stores. I drive up there just to get some stuff that I can't find in any of Kentucky. Elite says, my addiction got so bad, I bought a store. Been there. I would do it again. Yep. I've really thought about getting us another store. But I have to have things line up. I've got other obligations. Let's put it that way. That are keeping me from being allowed to do that right now. Mel says she does plan on trying to attend, or at least for at least a day. Not which day, don't know, unless I can split the hotel somehow. There's always camping. I'm sure there's people that would, let you split hotel rooms or whatever. Saturday is a good day to be there. Friday is a good day to be there. Sunday's that awesome swap. I think the bourbon tastings on Wednesday. Got some more bourbon donated last night for that. Skull's here and he's blaming Lumi for being late. Welcome in, Skull. Did you bring Lumi with you? Reading about these beta that I can't pronounce, close to snakehead types. Huge face. Short of them on the YouTube page. I got to learn. I'm not sure what the whole snakehead thing is. I did pick up Unimaculatus. And mine aren't big, but apparently they get big. So I'm maybe a little worried about that. Mel says I need Pandagaras. I need, let's see, need Pandagaras. I'll be grabbing more babies tomorrow to add to my hoard. Oh, you're picking up more Pandagaras, and I need Pandagaras too, huh? L181s, yeah, that's the ones I lost. I picked up a group down in the Nashville club. I don't know if it's this year or last year, and set up a new display tank and had it all going, and I put guppies in there, and they were going to be my centerpiece plecos in there, and the tank just kind of crashed. I don't know if it took a temperature swing or what, but they were all dead. All my male guppies were dead. All the females got ick right there after. So it may have been that I made a video about ick and jinxed myself, because I haven't had ick in close to 20 years. Mel's in the market for dwarf snowball plecos. And there's Sanders Aquatics. Welcome in. If you came in earlier and I didn't say hi, I'm sorry. I'm trying to keep up with chat and I'm behind on it. Sometimes I get behind, sometimes I'm ahead and I don't know what to say, but Sanders says I've been looking for peppermint plecos. Yeah, I think Ed, Chattanooga Ed, brought them up to me back in like 2021 or 2022 about how he was looking for some and couldn't find them. And then when I came across these, like, oh, I'm going to get those. Well, let's see. Now says we'll be at the bash trying to find a way to go multiple days. The hotels are pricey. They are. You can probably find, like I said, you might can find somebody to split the rooms with, because I know there are multiple people going that probably wouldn't mind splitting a room, because there's you're not going to spend a whole lot of time in the room. You sleep for a couple hours and back at the fun. And I think that, like, if you get the convention pricing for the rooms, I think they're like $105 a night, which is better than some of the other conventions I've been to. That's better there. Let's see. I'm in top chat. No wonder stuff's coming in weird. And Mel's went to the store. Oh, well, see you later. I guess you've already gone. Love to trip. Says can't wait for maybe my L46 to breed. That was an expensive loss when I lost the zebra that I got. That was the only thing that I lost coming back from the clash last year. Everything else did fine. Just that zebra pleco, the one that would hurt the worst. So that beta and Tuata, or however you say it, is the type that Nancy's wanting. Oh, it's a snakehead also. Snakehead beta. So Skull didn't bring Lumi today, but making sure she's in Kentucky. And then Mel's asking when's the co-op thing during the bash. She's a member who wanted to go on the tour of the warehouse. I have no idea about that. That's totally co-op. They didn't set that up as part of the convention things. So I don't know if it's happening. I heard that it was. When it's happening, how you find out. I would guess maybe message one of the co-op people and ask. I don't know if they're sending stuff out or if he said it in one of his recent streams or something. I'm not sure. Unimaculatus will get big enough to eat guppies. Oh, good to know. I don't think I have any guppies in with them now. It's they're in with I've got one Skiffy and it's still making it. This room gets too hot for Goodeids, and there were some awesome Goodeids at the auction. That's something I wanted so bad, but I knew that it just be a death sentence for them because they can't handle these temperatures. I need me like a second building. I think I'll just keep like a ice box or something for them. Shirley says, I wish you guys could see my Albi marginata. Maybe. Female, she looks like a smiling snake. It is always neat whenever you've got a fish that look like they have a personality in their face or something like that. And Skull's put up, looks like a couple of the links to the convention, one through the Bluegrass Club's site and one through the direct link for the ACA's official page for the convention. Mel's the Pandagara propaganda. That sounds like it's a tongue twister, at least in my brain, which is kind of faulty. Shirley says, not ignoring us, doing fish tours, in and out. Sounds like she's ignoring us, guys. Shirley's ignoring us. Nancy says they're not snakeheads, but they look like snakehead fish. That's what I meant when it came out of my mouth. They were snakeheads too. I'm like, that sounds like I'm saying that they're the Chara snakeheads, but that's what I mean. Is like they're betas, but they've got that snake looking head. I love to trip once illegal fish. I've had a few desires for illegal fish, and I could easily get illegal fish. But I know with my lack of attention to detail and putting videos out there on the World Wide Web for everybody to see, I would advertise that I had illegal fish and be a problem. And I don't want to I want my channel to be more of a educational and like stuff that people look to they're getting into the hobby and kind of set examples, even if I do stuff wrong. Um, so I don't want to like say, yeah, this one's illegal, but I'm sneaking it in this way or whatever. I don't want to do that type of thing because there's some fish that are very legal. Like you can buy them at pet stores in Ohio and Tennessee and surrounding states, but they're definitely illegal in Kentucky. And I've thought that they would be cool to have. I had them years and years and years ago when I didn't know they were illegal. But I'm not doing that. Sunny G1 came in. Welcome. Elite says I saw my macrostoma female yawn the other day, and I had no clue that their mouth got as big as it did. Yeah, quite surprised considering the other large species I have. It was expected. Yeah, some of these fish, their mouths are very extreme. I saw one the other day. I don't remember what it was, but it did like it might have been like some sort of geophagus or something. I don't remember all the details, but I remember it had like a kind of like a sand sifting vacuum type mouth. Its mouth got very large and covered a lot of surface area of the ground to be able to pull crustaceans and stuff out of the sand. I was like, wow, that's like having a whole Hoover vacuum or whatever shop vac going through. Love to trip says I like to privately have channel, but no one talk about it. Yeah. Lee says yes, fish police are a real thing. Yeah, and like here in Kentucky, the African claw frogs are illegal also. And I have known of people to mention that they have them on Facebook, and they get a knock on their door from the officials wanting to take a look at that cute little frog that they post on Facebook. So I don't want to rock the boat any more than I do already. And keeping illegal fish, even though these the like one of the species that I would love to keep, and I've got so many things going through my mind of how I would keep them and stuff, is the blind cave tetra. They're illegal in Kentucky, and the reason that they're illegal in Kentucky is really dumb. But that's a topic for U.S. Aqua and all that group to deal with and get the dumb laws reversed and stuff. But I think that would be a cool fish to keep. Now I kept it years and years and years ago, but I would like to set up like a cave tank and have the blind cave fish swimming through it. Oh, Danikin's here. Welcome in. Sonny saw the Epiplatus male alert last week. Interesting. I knew Dodo Lectures could do it. They have that secondary air bladder that they can control. I didn't know that Helios could. Sutton Roads Aquatics, welcome in. I don't think you were here before, but I forget who I've talked to and people's names and all that. Love and Trip says my dog would eat a frog before the cops come in. Yeah, and it's odd that I've seen pet stores around here selling fish and animals that are illegal, but then I've seen individuals keep an illegal animal on the same level, and they get a visit from the authorities. And I'm like, how does the pet store that's open to the public have this animal on their shelf in the display that is well known to be illegal and not get anything said to them, but the individual that has it at home? And I guess the difference is, posting on social media that they have it, and the pet store never posted anything up that they have that specific animal. Elite says, I saw a crocodile fish once. It opens its mouth like a great big square box. Scared the crap out of me. I was not cleaning that tank. Yeah. Yeah, Nancy, that's what it is the caves in Kentucky. They're not scared of the cave tetra itself becoming invasive, but another species that has a similar name, similar lineage or whatever, they're afraid of it becoming invasive, and so they just outlawed all of them. Dumb laws, no crayfish in Missouri. Yeah, but I get the crayfish thing a little more than I do the fish thing, because and maybe because I've been exposed to Kentucky has some endangered crayfish that only live in this one little area, and they travel across land also. And I can see, you get a non-native crayfish that can be invasive. They can travel across land into an area. I'm surprised we don't have crayfish regulations here in Kentucky. And if anybody that makes the laws here in Kentucky is listening, I meant, Tennessee. We don't need any regulations in Kentucky. We're good. Love and Trips, good at breaking laws. Yeah, I break enough without intentionally doing it. And Progenital Aquarius made it home. And Cheryl says the Ariel one has a huge mouth. The jerk likes to show how big it is when she does not feed him fast enough. Yeah. Oh, Nancy got some darters in Kentucky. Nice. You got darters in Kentucky, and I went to Tennessee and picked up shiners. Of course, I got them at the swap. Then we've got our native collecting thing coming up in 2 or 3 weeks. I got to get ready for that too. I haven't had unless you count I've got a couple different natives in the picture now. I haven't had natives really in here in a while. I had Gambusia a while back. But Tennessee has its native collecting laws and stuff like that, but they don't read like everybody says that they read. So there's a very large gray area there. But whatever. Mexican crayfish that ran away. Yeah. Oh, we got some Scarlet Shiners too. Marijuana and the clown mouths are jumping. Yeah, they do that. Well, looks like I've made it to the bottom of the chat and to 7 o'clock. I thought I just started the stream, but apparently I've been going for an hour. That means I got other stuff I got to be doing. Oh well. I had to miss last week. I didn't realize I had to miss last week. I had a meeting to attend, and then I think I can be here next week. So, well, oh no, wait, next week's Memorial Day, so maybe not. If not next week, then the following week. But just watch out for the posts I'll put out that if I'll be going live. And until then, thanks everybody for showing up and showing your support. It's great to be able to talk to you all, and I'll see you the next time that I'm here. And we'll see you later.